Yeah, I'd like to make a small change in the earlier announcement. It is Srimati Shailaja Kiron, Managing Director, Margadarsi Chit Funds and Couple Chit Funds. So I'd like to apologize, ma'am, for that. Yeah. So we request everyone to stand for Vande Mataram and followed by the university song. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sukhalam Malayaj Sheetaram Sasya Syamalam Mataram Vande Mataram Shubhra Jyosna Pulakitayamini Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhini Suhasini Sumadhura Bhashini Sukhadam Varadam Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram. Thank you, esteemed dignitaries. We request that you kindly take your seats. We now invite our Vice Chancellor, Sir T. Koti Reddy, to formally open the International Conference on Women 5.0 open.
I declare the International Conference on Women 5.0 open.
It is time now to understand the driving force behind the conference. We invite Dr. S. Vijayalakshmi, Convener CWD, IFHE, to give the welcome address for the International Conference Women 5.0, Progress, Possibilities and Power, Reimagining Womanhood, Leadership, Equality and Innovation in the Changing World.
Very good morning to all the distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, scholars, practitioners, delegates and students present here. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the International Conference on Women 5.0, Power, Progress and Possibilities, a unique and forward-looking platform designed to reimagine womanhood, leadership, equality and innovation in a rapidly changing world. As the convener of this conference, I am deeply pleased to see such a vibrant gathering of individuals who share a common commitment to advancing research, dialogue and collective action towards gender-inclusive progress. The IFHE campus is a home to 6 schools, IBS, FST, FOL, ICFAI School of Architecture and ICFAI School of Social Sciences and Center for Distance and Online Education. Within this vibrant academic ecosystem, we also host 5 centers of excellence. Among them, the Center for Women Development plays a pivotal role in advancing research, advocacy, capacity building initiatives focused on women and communities. Center for Women Development began its journey in 2014 as an initiative within IBS, that is ICFAI Business School only. Over time, and especially in the post-pandemic phase, the center expanded to embrace all schools of the university. Today, each school is represented by a committed women coordinator who helps Center for Women Development activities. Over the years, the center has implemented numerous impactful programs, upskilling workshops, health awareness sessions, community outreach programs, women's safety initiatives, menstrual hygiene awareness programs, and leadership development training programs. Our quarterly e-newsletter, Shobha, has also been a significant milestone with 12 issues published up to date. Center for Women Development's academic footprint includes globally recognized case studies authored by our women faculty and nearly 10 research projects addressing the themes such as senior women citizens, solar, water, sustainability, livelihood enhancement and employment opportunities, many of which have been published in Scopus Index journals. The vision of CWD is deeply rooted in empowerment, empowering students, communities, professors, professionals through internships, MDPs, skill building programs, community engagement programs and research. It is this vision that inspired us to conceptualize the International Conference Women 5.0, that is Power, Progress and Possibilities. The theme of Women 5.0 represents a significant evolution. Women 1.0 symbolizes traditional roles and struggles for basic rights. That era is over, we have seen by unveiling. Women 2.0 marks the entry of women into education and formal employment. That phase is also over. Women 3.0 reflects the fight for equality, leadership and representation. That phase is also over. Women 4.0 captures the digital employment, breaking stereotypes and leading social and organizational transformation. That phase is also over. Women 5.0, where we stand today, goes beyond equality. It signifies women stepping into roles that shape the future, driving innovation, influencing policies, and leading in an era defined by artificial intelligence and rapid technological changes. In this context, I think we thought the theme Power, Progress and Possibilities is not just timely but essential. It reflects the momentum of women who are proceeding globally, the progress achieved and the possibilities ahead. The response to this conference has been truly tremendous and remarkable and demonstrates the global resonance of the theme. We received nearly 300 abstracts from the researchers around the world. After rigorous review, around 200 papers were accepted and we received close to 80 full papers across all 8 thematic areas. Scholars and practitioners have joined us from prestigious institutions such as Carnegie Mellon University US, Oregon National Laboratories US, and from countries including Australia, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Nepal, and Bangladesh. This diversity reflects the breadth of encouragement and the global recognition of Women 5.0 as a powerful framework for dialogue. We acknowledge the collaborative support of our partners, the dedicated efforts of our reviewers, and the contributions of everyone who has played a remarkable role in bringing this conference to fruition. This commitment has helped shape a platform that encourages rich discussion, innovation, and meaningful exchange of ideas. As we began this conference, we look forward to insightful deliberations, thought-provoking sessions, and the development of ideas that will inspire action beyond these 2 days. We welcome you all, especially to all the paper participants. Our heartfelt gratitude to all of you who came all the way, whose presence strengthens the dialogue and the collective understanding of women's evolving roles in a changing world. Let this conference be a space of learning, sharing, and envisioning the future of Women 5.0, where power, progress, and possibilities truly converge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for walking us through the major milestones in the CWD Center. Now, may I now request Professor K. Sunita Rani, Dean, School of Social Sciences, University of Hyderabad, to grace the stage and deliver the introductory remarks.
Srimati N. Shobharani Yashashvi Garu, Chairperson, ICFAI Society. Professor T. Kotireddy Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor. Dr. Vijayalakshmi Garu, Registrar. Dignitaries on the dais, colleagues, delegates, and students. A very good morning to all of you and a warm welcome to this international conference. At the outset, I must say that Center for Women's Studies, School of Social Sciences, University of Hyderabad is very happy to collaborate with ICFAI, with Center for Women and Development Studies, to organize this conference. Center for Women's Studies, University of Hyderabad, runs a PhD program, a full PhD program, and it is very keen on promoting feminist readings, feminist pedagogy, and looking at particularly education at different levels. Apart from doing cultural studies, visual studies, and comparative studies, we are also very keen on doing field work and researching pedagogy. And we also take up extension work, research work, and we are very keen on having collaborations, collaborative studies particularly, and collaborative teaching. Within the university, Center for Women's Studies teaches courses at various levels, mandatory as well as optional, at the undergraduate level, at the postgraduate level, and at the research level. Similarly, a quick introduction to the School of Social Sciences, which has 13 academic units, including Center for Women's Studies, which is looking forward to interdisciplinary studies with lot of interest, which is taking up interdisciplinary studies exactly like Center for Women Studies at various levels in teaching, research and collaborative activities. This is about the center and the school in a nutshell. Coming to the conference, while we were walking to the conference venue, we saw the pictures of, like Dr. Vijayalakshmi referred to it, the journey of women towards success, towards achievement. We are literally standing on the shoulders of those women who fought day and night, who fought tooth and nail even to access education, not just for themselves but also for other women, for everybody. I cannot but think of somebody like Savitribai Phule or Pandit Ramabai Saraswati or Tarabai Shinde in this context, who literally fought, who took so much backlash from society. From there we have walked till this point, though these achievements are not watertight compartments or generally can be applied to all women, still there are women who are battling, who are fighting their battles. I think that is where we focus on intersectionality of women, diversity of women, those who have achieved a lot, who have stood as achievers, as role models, as inspirations, and those who are still struggling to cross the barriers and obstacles. So thinking about all those pioneers is really going to be inspiring for all of us today in this context. I'm sure this conference is going to engage with all the dimensions of quote unquote success and achievement, because today we are not just engaging with these concepts, but we are also critically engaging with these concepts to understand them in all their nuances. I'm sure this conference is going to be a critical intervention into the issues related to women and gender. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Center for Women Studies and School of Social Sciences, University of Hyderabad. Thank you so much, ICFAI, for thinking of us for this collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for introducing the various schools of University of Hyderabad and also talking about the current collaborative research that should emerge from such conclaves. Now, our next guest is a distinguished technologist whose work is redefining India's innovation landscape. Professor P. Rajalakshmi, Professor of Science Chair at IIT Hyderabad, leads THAN, the National Hub for Autonomous Navigation, and spearheads cutting-edge research and smart mobility, IoT, drones, and future communications. Her leadership has enabled innovations such as India's indigenous autonomous shuttle, showcasing how women in STEM are shaping the technologies of tomorrow. Please join me in welcoming Professor P. Rajalakshmi, ma'am, to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning all. Thank you so much for inviting me for this conference, Women 5.0. I think I'll be talking more about the, technology. Okay, good morning all. I think, sorry for this small glitch. I think I'll just proceed with what I'm going to talk about. So basically, I'm a faculty in the Department of Electrical Engineering, also in the Department of Artificial Intelligence at IIT Hyderabad. I'm also the project director for Technology Innovation Hub on Autonomous Navigation. So I'll just talk about what this Technology Innovation Hub on Autonomous Navigation is. So all of us know Government of India, particularly Ministry of Science and Technology, launches majority of the R&D programs as national mission projects. Okay, so the one which we are doing, which is on autonomous navigation, is under the national mission on interdisciplinary cyber physical systems, which is cabinet approved 2018, and then it was rolled out in 2020. IIT Hyderabad was leading the technology vertical on autonomous navigations and drones. Okay, so that's where this is a technology innovation hub on autonomous navigations, which is Tihan at IIT Hyderabad. Okay, so that's what is a brief note about what this Tihan is at IIT Hyderabad. Okay, and the recent one which was rolled out last year is a national mission on quantum technologies. Okay, again we are working on quantum as well. Okay, so this, having given this, so what do we do as Technology Innovation Hub on Autonomous Navigation? I mean, all of us know navigation means mobility, right? Navigation enables somebody to move from point A to point B. That is basically the definition of navigation. When I talk about autonomous navigation, that means autonomous means there is no human intervention, right? It is all automated, right? So how can mobility be automated, whatever be the sector is? Okay, that's what we call as smart mobility or next generation mobility. So Technology Innovation Hub at IIT Hyderabad works on, coming up with next generation mobility solutions, right? So specifically when we are talking about navigation or mobility, safety is the primary agenda that the technology should focus on, right? That's why this hub is what we call as the hub for safe, sustainable next generation mobility solutions. And if you see, I don't know if the pointer is working. Okay. So here, the technology that we are developing, if you see, the area is on transportation, agriculture, defense, okay, infrastructure monitoring. So all of these are the different areas in which the technology is being developed, okay, and being, the most important thing I would see, you can see in this, primary focus not only on, fundamental research, but also on translational research. So when I talk about translational research, what do we mean by translational research? So we are all very good as academicians and researchers, publishing papers, okay, filing patents, and the next thing that we do is, do POCs. When I say POC, at the lab level, right? Lab level POCs, we are very good at doing it, okay. But what do we mean by translational research? How do I take my POC or technology that I have demonstrated in the lab, which to the level which can be directly adopted by the industry, okay. So that is what we mean by translational research. Translational research means my research should aid industry in directly adopting my technology that I have developed, okay. So that is the vision with which the Government of India is moving towards. They want to actually make all the R&D projects towards translational research so that India can, translate from service-based nation to product-based nation. So, okay, by 2047, Viksit Bharat and other things, Atmanirbhar Bharat and things like that, all the government programs are moving towards how to make India as a self-sufficient country, how to make India as a product-owning nation, right? So these kind of programs are launched by Government of India with that vision. Okay, so that is the reason we call it no more as a foundational R&D, but we also focus on translational R&D. When I say translational R&D, the products or the research that I'm doing should lead to higher technology readiness levels, TRL levels that they call, which can be directly adopted by the industry. Okay, so something which is at TRL level of 7 and above, industry is very much focusing towards such kind of technologies from the country so that that can be directly adopted by them without so much of time invested by them to take it to the market. Okay, so that is what we are doing. So this, as I've told, research and technology development, and then because we do a lot of translational research, who takes it to the market? It's none other than industry, right? So strong industry collaboration. And the most important thing, it's not only the strong industry collaboration, we should also create a strong entrepreneurship ecosystem in the country, right? So the innovation hubs that are being set up by Government of India, the R&D, should also lead to entrepreneurship ecosystem in the country. If you see the funding, almost like 30 to 40% of the funding is on reserved for entrepreneurship activities in this specialized area of mobility. Okay, so that's what we have said, entrepreneurship startup ecosystem. Then obviously international collaborations so that we compete not only for the Indian market but also for the global market. Our products should be such that it's not only catering to Indian market but also should cater to the global market. Okay, so that's the primary focus as well of such kind of mission projects. And the next very important thing, human resource development, right? And multiple programs have been launched as part of it, starting from fellowships, from the undergraduate level, postgraduate, PhD, postdoctoral fellowship. We have chair professors and faculty fellowships across the country, okay, being supported by such kind of mission projects, okay, specifically in the area of mobility, okay, and then a number of skill development programs or workshops have been conducted so far in this area. And what is very unique about IIT Hyderabad, we have come up with a very unique concept or a unique selling point, I would say, for IIT Hyderabad. We have an autonomous navigation test bed set up at IIT Hyderabad. I'll talk about it as we go along. Yeah, so this is the autonomous navigation test bed. So the one which I show, the Google map, that says, our campus, which is around 600 acres. The highlighted red bubbled one is around 10 acres, okay, which we call as the navigation test bed. Autonomous navigation test bed, or we also call it as a living lab. Okay, I was talking about the translational research, right? When we are talking about translational research, we need dedicated space where the product is tested and validated as per the standards, right? So when I talk about standards, there are different standardizing bodies, like it may be when I talk about mobility, autonomous vehicles, Euro NCAP standards, UNECE standards, ISO standard, BIS standard, right? Different kind of standards exist. So we need to do, after my lab development of the prototype, I have to go to the field and test the product as per the standard. So that's what happens in this. This is one of the very unique, the first of its kind in the country itself, where 10 acres of land have been dedicated for development of autonomous vehicles and autonomous drone, okay, in the country. Okay, so that's what you can see. You can see this is the aerial view, a drone based image, different kind of test tracks, like it has 3-lane road, 2-lane road, sharp S-curves, signalized, unsignalized intersections, different kind of connectivity, CV2X, connected vehicle technology, 5G standard, communication enabled, so that you can test different kind of connected autonomous vehicles as well, right? So all these features are integrated in the test bed, which enables somebody to do R&D and do product development, which is ready for commercialization or adoption by the industry, right? So this is first of its kind in the country, which exists at IIT Hyderabad, which was actually inaugurated by Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh. right? So again, it follows all the standards, as I was saying, Euro NCAP standards, IRC standards, etc. Right, so again, what are the different features? You know, like you enter into the test bed, you'll be able to actually even emulate a rainfall, right? And how does an autonomous vehicle or an autonomous drone behaves if there is going to be a rainfall, or if it is going to be a fog condition, right? So such kind of rainfall and fog generation is also integrated in the test bed itself, so that, you know, the technology is ready for all weather conditions. That's most important, right? You know, it's not only the daylight condition, it should be working in all light conditions. When I'm driving an autonomous vehicle, it should not only work in the sunlight condition, it should work even in the night condition, which means, you know, it should be working in all weather, all light conditions. So all these things is facilitated in the test bed, so that you can develop the technology in the test bed and prove it as per the standards, right? And, you know, we work on drones, okay? So when we talk about mobility, now it's no more ground vehicle. We have already started using drones. At least I would say, you know, today morning we were seeing drones going around capturing a lot of videos about the event, right? And drones are also exhaustively being utilized in the agriculture sector for pesticide and etc. All of us are aware of it. Beyond this, you know, now drones are going to be adopted for cargo transportation, right? Transportation of, you know, your parcels from wherever, from one location to another. Already Postal Service have started adopting kind of drones for delivery of postal services in some sectors. Going forward, you know, we are thinking that drones can also be utilized as a personalized air vehicle, which we call as air taxis, right? So the Government of India, Department of Civil Aviation have come up with the regulations for, I would say, vertiports. What are vertiports? Like, you know about helipads, right? A dedicated landing area for helicopters. Similarly, a dedicated landing area for heavy payload drones. Specifically, I would say something about air taxis as well, right? Vertiports, already Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India have given out the standards of how the vertiport should be constructed in the country. So at IIT Hyderabad, because we are working on multimodal transportation, not only the ground-based but also aerial vehicles, that is drones, you know, the test bed also have vertiport. You know, you can see at the end, vertiport, you know, where very heavy payload drone, specifically air taxis, can land and take off, okay, from the test bed itself. Okay, so that's why, you know, I would say it's a next generation test bed for generation or for testing and development or research and development of next generation technology in mobility, right? So this is briefly about the test bed that we have. Okay, so I have the test bed. What do I do? So let's get into this. Yeah, so the technology development. So again, as I was saying, you know, like we should be, India should become a product nation. What do I mean by product nation? So product nation is I should own the IP. So what do I mean by owning the IP? So the brain of the autonomous system should be with us, right? So that is what I mean as the IP or the product, okay, developed by our nation. So as product development, what do we do for autonomous vehicle? The complete autonomous driving stack, right? So when I say driving stack, you know, starting from, you can see different subsections here. I'll not get into details of it, but it's similar to a human, right? So I have my sensors. When I say about sensors, I can see, I can hear, I can smell, you know, taste and other things. These are kind of sensors, right? So I have camera, I have LiDAR, I have radar and other things. So multiple sensors, which are electronic gadgets, which can actually sense the environment and give what it is, right? So this sensor fusion is the first stack that we have. And after that, the perception. So after getting the data from the sensor, there should be somebody who has to process this. Of course, here my brain processes what I see, what I taste, what I hear, right? Similarly, there is a perception stack sitting, right? There is a compute device, a controller device, you know, which is sitting there, which is actually processing the data from the sensor, coming up with a perception inference, right? So there is a perception stack sitting there. The next thing is, you know, now we are focusing about mobility. Mobility is what? I have to, when I started itself, I said I have to navigate from one point to another, right? Point A to B. So that means I have to plan the path. I have to figure out what is the route I have to take, right? So the next part, after I see, after I sense, after I see what are all there in the environment, I have to start planning my path from the source to the destination. So that's what we see as the planning algorithm. Then the control action. What is control action? Maybe I have to turn right, turn left, make a U-turn to reach the destination, right? So that is what you mean by the control action. So the vehicle has to steer, it has to brake, it has to accelerate, it has to stop, whatever it has to do, right? So these are actually the parts of an autonomous navigation system, which is similar to a human who actually sense, perceive, then take an action if he has to move from one place to another. Same thing we have to translate now into an autonomous vehicle. That's what we do, right? So this is the technology that we develop. Okay, so the same, complete sensor integration, perception development, planning algorithms, and control algorithms. Okay, the complete end-to-end stack, what we call as the autonomous driving stack, is developed at IIT Hyderabad. And what do? We deploy in different category of vehicles, because again, each of the vehicle have its own characteristic, starting from slow moving vehicle, which you can see like the golf carts, which are utilized in the campuses for movement of people, right? Starting from golf carts to commercial vehicles, which can even fly at almost 120 to 150 km/h on the roads, right? So our stack, we develop the stack and deploy it on multiple variety of vehicles or category of vehicles, so that the technology is robust, right? It can be fine-tuned, right? So this is what we do. Okay, so we have the complete in-house autonomous driving stack, which is actually developed and designed, fine-tuned for different category of vehicles as well. Okay, now going forward, so I was talking about perception, right? Perception is what? It's the brain of the system. It has to decide, it has to take the control actions, right? So that's where all your artificial intelligence comes into play, cognition comes into play, right? And all of us know when we want to work on machine learning or artificial intelligence, deep learning techniques, a huge amount of data is required, right? So in that context, again, at IIT Hyderabad, we have something called as, a data collection vehicle, the one which you see here. It is fitted with a number of sensors, starting from camera, LiDAR, radar, positioning sensors, ultrasonic sensors, everything fitted on it. And we have started the mission which we call a safari, starting from Hyderabad up to Jammu and Kashmir. We have driven the vehicle, okay, collecting the data. So more than 40 plus cities have been, cut across, collecting data, okay. And the most important thing, our country is so much hybrid. When I say hybrid, in terms of language, when I cross the city border from Telangana to when I enter into Maharashtra, the name words are all completely different, right? It's no more Telugu, it's Maharashtrian. So, how does the vehicle respond when it sees a name board, right? Because the states, from one state to another state, the language itself changes, right? So this kind of data is very, very important for us to actually train the autonomous vehicle, right? So that's what we have done. We have driven across the different states, collecting all the information in the roads. What does a vehicle see when it is actually going through the route, going through the road. That's very important, so that I will design my cognition algorithm to make it more robust, to work in all the roads, right, across the cities, across the states, right? So to make it more robust, this exercise is very important, and we have done it, right? So we have, I think, so this are, different, I would say that is the data which was collected. Again, it's a multimodal fused data set, in Chandigarh city. So all these things are a glimpse of the data collection activity, because we are working on autonomous system which is more reliable on artificial intelligence or cognition building, right? Yeah, so I think during the introduction, she was mentioning, right, we have deployed an autonomous campus shuttle at IIT Hyderabad. I would say IIT Hyderabad is the only campus, when you step into the campus, you can experience an autonomous vehicle, right? Our campus, as I showed, it's around 600 acres. From the main gate to the hostel circle, it's around 4 kilometers. So we have deployed this autonomous campus shuttle, okay, open to everybody who steps in, can take a, go from the main gate to the hostel circle or the academic zone in an autonomous vehicle. Otherwise, you may have to go to US to experience with Waymo or Tesla. Yeah, so that's one of the things where we have deployed this technology in the campus itself since 2023, and it's running very successfully. More than 25,000 kilometers we have run in the campus in autonomous mode. And the same technology in different campuses we have deployed, recently in AP Secretariat, Amravati. Also the same technology was also deployed. Okay, so these are some deployments, and the most important, a number of industry come to us. This is one of the industry and international agency which sent their vehicle from abroad, and we have converted that into autonomous. Okay, so these are some of the deployments of our technology. Okay, this is a connected vehicle technology, right? Yeah, so this is a test bed. You can see this. Yeah, so these are some of the other, we talk about autonomous vehicles. What next in autonomous vehicles? Something called as software-defined vehicles. Okay, what do we mean by software-defined vehicle? So we are moving towards a phase where, vehicle is once sold. Like, we are aware of, everyday morning, sometimes after a week or so, my Samsung phone or iPhone says there is a software update, right? So the same thing is what we are translating as software-defined vehicles. So you buy the vehicle, okay? So for the next version of the vehicle, you don't have to get the next version of the physical car, but the software update happens from the cloud, right? So that's what we mean by software-defined vehicles. So they give you a platform, a basic version, okay, and advanced feature can be updated from the cloud itself, okay? That's what, it's called as a programmable E&E architecture. So that's what the next stage of autonomous vehicle is. We are moving towards that. Yeah, so this is all about the ground vehicles. Since I told that we are also working on drones, I'll just briefly touch upon what we are doing on drones. So you can see, here a different category of drones. Most of us, whatever we saw here kind of is a nano drone, okay, and mostly whatever we see in agriculture is all small category drones, okay. There is about 25 kg, it's medium, about 50 kg, it is large, okay. So at IIT Hyderabad, we work on different category of drones, starting from nano up to heavy payload drone, okay. So I'll just show you this. Yeah, so this is a heavy payload category drone. This is actually a single, I would say, a passenger drone which can carry up to a 100 kg payload, okay. There is a mannequin which is sitting there. This is from one end of the campus. A 4-kilometer air corridor was set up, and we are doing the trials, okay, which we call this as Palankia. Palankia in Telugu, I think it's a Sanskrit word of Palaku, right, which can carry actually a single person at least, okay. So the first version already tested, trialed, okay. It's all completely autonomous. Nobody is piloting it, okay. It's all pre-programmed. It's completely autonomous. We are working on the next version, which you see there, okay, which is Palankia 2, which is actually undergoing test, okay. So this is a heavy payload drone which can be utilized for carrying humans. Specifically in our context, it more can be like an air ambulance, right, where you want to actually, in emergency, evacuate a person from one place to another, to the nearby hospital and other places, right? That may be the immediate requirement. The next version, I would say, another heavy payload drone, which we call as a Chakravyuh. This can carry up to 200 kg of load. Okay, so this is also tested, validated, and we are working with defense for some of these prototypes to be delivered to them. Yeah, so these are some of the finer details, technology details. And the next very important thing is a surveillance drone, so an AI-enabled surveillance drone. Okay, and then, the swarm of drones, you can see here a swarm of drones. Again, this is very, very important. When there is a large area, we want to deploy multiple drones to do large area surveillance. Specifically, again, strategically is more important, right? So we have this swarm of drone technology as well. Okay, so these are some of the other deployments. So this is again one very interesting thing, indoor navigation drones. Again, this is very useful for defense applications. So apart from the conventional drones that we have seen, we also work on something called as bio-mimicked drones or bio-inspired drones. So you can see in this, you can, maybe, it's like a honeybee, right? A drone which is like a honeybee. Okay, so this is more again from the strategic application perspective, which is camouflaged, and it can be utilized for, surveillance applications, right? So they are also called as ornithocopters. Yeah, I think. So these are some of the, again, edge-based drones and some more technology. Again, as I was saying, we are moving towards cloud-based, over-the-air updates. So all these are some of the advanced technologies. And morning again, one of our guests was saying about the standardization process. All these are very, very niche technology, advanced technologies. So there does not exist any of the standards so far. So who will evolve with the standard? And specifically, the standards have to be custom designed for India specific, I would say country specific. Okay, so we participate a lot in standards building also, because we do not have standard for autonomous vehicle. We do not have standards for autonomous drones in the country. Okay, so with the R&D that we do, we contribute a lot to TSDSI, BIS and other bodies in terms of standardization as well. Okay, yeah. So at IIT Hyderabad, we are working on end-to-end connectivity, starting from last mile, shared services, and also, I would say personalized air vehicles, like, whatever I was talking about, the air taxis. Okay, end-to-end multimodal transportation as, solution for next generation mobility solutions. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very insightful and enriching, specifically when you talked about the progress of safe and sustainable mobility, and then translational research, and also how to build a self-sustainable ecosystems. Thank you so much, ma'am. So now, as we celebrate Women 5.0, it is my privilege to introduce a woman who truly embodies these ideas. Srimati Shailaja Kiron, MD of Margadarsi Chit Fund and Kalanjali, is a distinguished leader whose visionary stewardship transformed Margadarsi Chit Fund into a nationwide success story, and whose work with Kalanjali has championed India's handloom artisans and women-driven craftsmanship. A recipient of multiple awards for excellence and entrepreneurship, she stands as a powerful symbol of determination, innovation, and progress. Please join the hands in welcoming Mrs. Shailaja Kiron to deliver a speech.
Good morning, everyone. My dear students, delegates, and dignitaries on stage. It's a privilege and a joy to stand before this vibrant gathering of women and men who believe in possibility, in progress, and in the power of change. When I first read that theme, Women 5.0, what does it mean? To me, it signals an evolution. We trace our journey through time. As Dr. Vijayalakshmi Garu mentioned, Women 1.0 was about survival, finding a voice in a world that often denied it. Women 2.0 was awakening, demanding education and basic rights. Women 3.0 stood for empowerment, entering workplaces, politics, and professions. Women 4.0 sought equality, fighting for representation and recognition. We need to change the attitude with which we look at women. A progressive society does not say she's just a woman. It says she is an equal, she is capable, and she is powerful. Women don't need permission. They need opportunity. They don't need protection. They need respect. They don't need sympathy. They need equality. Mindset is not changed by laws alone. It changes when homes change, families change, and thinking changes. When a woman hears her parents say, "We trust you," when a husband says, "Go ahead, I'm with you," And when children say, "We are proud of you," something magical happens. She gains confidence. She begins to believe in herself. She becomes ready to face the world. Confidence is the first gift a family can give a woman, and I stand before you as an example of that. I'd like to say a few words about myself. I'm a graduate from Ethiraj College, Chennai. I went to PhD College of Tech, MBA. I always grew up being the eldest daughter of parents with two girls. Always thought my father was an entrepreneur, started hatcheries, and I always grew up thinking that I will be running his business. So right from 10th class onwards, I used to go to office, see what he was doing, not only learn what he was doing, I also learned cooking from my mother by seeing. I never cooked. She never let me cook because I was in hostels, and she used to think that I'll hurt myself. But 3 times in my life so far, I have cooked only by seeing what she did. So why I'm saying this is, if you observe intensely, you can do anything in life. And when I got married, I told my husband, okay, I knew I was going into a very well-to-do family, but I told him that unless I'm allowed to be a career woman, I'm not going to go ahead with this. And he was too happy to have a career woman as his wife, and that's how I started getting into business. When I started working with Margadarsi Chit Funds, it had a turnover of 100 crores, and today we've touched 12,000 crores turnover, 129 branches, operating in 4 states. This is what confidence can do to a woman. Woman 5.0, the woman of today, stands for leadership with compassion, inclusion with innovation, and power with purpose. This is the era of the evolved woman, digitally skilled, socially conscious, globally connected, and deeply human. For generations, power was defined by control, authority, and hierarchy. But women 5.0 are teaching the world that true power lies in empathy, collaboration, and resilience. When the pandemic struck, we saw Jacinda Ardern, the President of New Zealand, with her empathy and decisive clarity, proving that kindness is not a weakness but a strategy. She was conferred damehood and made a knight for her kindness with which she handled the attack that was there on the mosque and also the volcanic eruption. Power is no longer about being above others, but it is about lifting others. In our organizations, in our communities, and in our families, leadership today is all about creating spaces where others can thrive. Every generation of women has pushed humanity forward, from Savitribai Phule, who opened the first school for girls in 1848, or Dr. Tessie Thomas, who was heading India's 4th and 5th Agni missile projects. The story of progress is written in courage and conviction. In politics, India's Women Reservation Bill 2023 has assured 1/3 representation of women in Parliament and state assemblies. This is going to get implemented from 2029, a milestone that will reshape public life. In business, over 15 million women entrepreneurs are driving India's MSME sector. And in rural India, the Kudumbashri movement in Kerala has shown how women collectives can transform local economies and create security for millions of livelihoods. Progress is visible, but we must remember each statistics represents countless unseen efforts, late nights, and moments of self-doubt turned into determination. Progress is never accidental, it is intentional. While we celebrate progress, equality remains an unfinished chapter. Even today, women on an average earn less than men for the same work. In most Fortune 500 companies, less than 10% of CEOs are women. Unpaid care work, the invisible backbone of our society, still falls disproportionately on women. But the picture is changing. Great women entrepreneurs don't just start businesses, they start missions. Consider Falguni Nair, founder of Nykaa. At the age of 50, she got out of her comfort zone, left a secure job to create an e-commerce beauty platform for Indian women. People mocked her, investors doubted her. But her mission was clear: to give women access to quality products and confidence. Nykaa became a billion-dollar company. Falguni Nair became India's richest self-made woman. Her success comes from purpose, not privilege. Roshni Nadar Malhotra, India's first woman to head listed IT company, shows that succession can be merit-based and not gender-based. Leena Nair, global CEO of Chanel, reminds us that a small-town girl from Kolhapur can lead one of the world's most iconic luxury brands. Geeta Gopinath, Deputy Managing Director of International Monetary Fund, shapes global economic policies from an Indian perspective. Equality is not merely about opportunity, it's about outcome. It requires supportive ecosystems, mentorship, flexible workplaces, inclusive hiring, and most importantly, the courage of leadership to believe in diversity. Diversity is being invited to the meeting. Inclusion is being asked to speak. Innovation is not just technological, it's the ability to see differently, to connect the dots together what others overlook to see. Women have always been innovators. Dr. Swati Mohan, the Indian origin NASA engineer, guided the landing of the Mars Perseverance rover. Aditi Avasti, founder of Imbibe, is using artificial intelligence to personalize education for millions of students. Chetna Gala Sinha created Mandeshi Mahila Bank, giving rural women access to credit and confidence across sectors: healthcare, fintech, renewable energy, education, and the creative arts. Women are not just participating, but they are pioneering. What really makes women entrepreneurs successful? These women of today, they're not waiting for the doors to open. They're building the infrastructure and opening the doors for others. When women innovate, they don't simply create profit, they create progress with purpose. Every successful woman entrepreneur breaks a barrier and sets a new standard. Think of Sudha Murthy, the first woman engineer hired at Telco, a philanthropist, an educator, and the backbone of Infosys Foundation. Despite stereotypes, she rose in a male-dominated world with simplicity, humility, and determination. Her success came from quiet courage. The future belongs to those who can merge humanity with technology, empathy with efficiency, and purpose with performance. That future is feminine in spirit, though not exclusive to women, so all the men here can be happy about it, because it values balance, care, and sustainability. We are entering a decade where women will lead in AI ethics, ensuring technology remains humane. Women entrepreneurs will build climate smart and socially responsible businesses. In government and in governance, the next generation more women will design policies rooted in inclusion. In science and sports, the next generation will soar higher than we imagined. The possibilities before us are endless, but they require partnership. Men and women must walk this road together. Gender equality is not a woman's issue. It is a societal imperative. When women rise, industries rise. When women lead, communities grow. When women succeed, nations progress. As I look around this hall, I see the face of Women 5.0, the entrepreneur with a dream, the teacher shaping your minds, the professional balancing of ambition and care, the students with questions no one has asked before. You are not just part of change, you are the change. There is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. Empowered women don't compete with men, they complete the world. When women lead, humanity wins. I would like to mention that you need to think big. You need to have multiple goals. You need to create the businesses which become characteristics, and they are the kings of that category, like the Ubers, like the Apples, like the Amazons. So let us step into the era of Women 5.0 with our heads held high and our hearts open, ready to harness power, accelerate progress, and unlock infinite possibilities. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for talking about the qualities that embody a woman and also chatting success stories of various women in different sectors. So thank you so much, ma'am. And a leader who inspires progress. We humbly request Professor Tamma Koti Reddy, Vice Chancellor in charge, ICFAI, to kindly come forward and share a few words with us.
Respected Madam Srimati Shobharani SSV, Chairperson ICFAI Society, Mrs. Shailaja Kiron Garu, Managing Director, Margadarsi Chit Fund Private Limited and Kalanjali Group, Professor P. Rajalakshmi, Professor Dilipa Srinivasan, Professor Sunita Rani, and Professor S. Vijayalakshmi, Directors and Deans of the Constituent Units of ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, the paper presenters, faculty colleagues, research scholars, media, a warm welcome to you all. On behalf of the organizing committee of today's conference, I welcome you all to the today International Conference, Women 5.0, Power, Progress and Possibilities, organized by Center for Women Development, ICFAI Foundation for Higher Education, Hyderabad. India has a rich cultural heritage that places a significant emphasis on roles and responsibilities of women in the society. However, women in India face various challenges for many years, including discrimination, violence, and limited access to education, health, and employment opportunities. Over the past few decades, the significant progress has been achieved towards achieving gender equality and empowering women. Historically, women in India have been at the forefront of political movements, from freedom struggle to contemporary electoral politics, advocating for rights, representation, and social justice. Women power in India is rapidly growing across economic, political, and social spheres, marked by increased female labor force participation, entrepreneurship, especially in micro, small, and medium enterprises, rising representation in STEM and defense, financial inclusion, and significant cultural shift in decision making. The female labor force participation in India has risen from 23% in 2017-18 to 41% by 2023-24. This rise is largely attributed to increased participation in rural areas, often linked to the distress employment programs like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. Women's micro, small, and medium entrepreneurship in India is a rapidly growing force, with women owning 20 to 25% of the total 63 million micro, small, and medium enterprises, providing employment opportunities for 22 to 27 million people. About 43% of STEM graduates in India are women, which is the highest in the world. Greater women's participation in tech sector will make women more strong and influential, giving a boost to their socio-economic situation in the society. For the first time in the Indian military history, 17 women cadets graduated from National Defense Academy, marking a historical step towards gender-inclusive military leadership and opening the path for future women service chiefs. The financial inclusion is crucial to achieve the economic empowerment of women, one of the targets under 5th Sustainable Development Goal on gender equality. Financial inclusion has shown a positive impact on women's control over household resources by increasing their savings. So as the savings of the women has been raised, they are able to spend more amount towards the education, health for the rest of the family members. So as a result, we have seen some progress in terms of education, health facilities in the economy. Over 55% of PM Jan Dhan Yojana accounts are held by women, with more than 31.36 female beneficiaries as of August 2025. The Global Findex 2024 report indicates that 86% of Indian women now have a bank account. Women are making strides as entrepreneurs. Approximately 68% of loans under PM Mudra Yojana, around 83% of loans under Stand Up India scheme have been sanctioned to women. The gender gap in a digital payment usage is narrowing, decreasing from 15% in 2014 to 11% in 2024. However, the rate of adoption among men is still more than double that of women. The worker population ratio has a stronger positive relationship with economic development. The female worker population ratio has increased from 22% in 2017-18 to 40% by 2023-24. It indicates a high level of female engagement in productive activities within the economy. Women's equal participation and leadership in political and public life are essential to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. In the Lok Sabha, the number of female representation rises from 5% in 1951 to 13.6% in 2024. The female representation in Rajya Sabha rises from 7% in 1952 to 13% in 2023. In 2022, women comprised 44% of representatives in local self-government institutions, with a total number of 13 lakh female representatives. As far as the cooperative sector is concerned, women play a significant role in cooperative sector, constituting more than 60% of the sector. Additionally, around 10 crore women are associated with self-help groups, driving the financial independence at the grassroots level. enhanced market access, better infrastructure facilities, and innovative creative solutions are ensuring that rural women are not just participants but leaders in the cooperative movement. As of November 2024, there are more than 25,000 women welfare cooperative societies and more than 1.4 lakh dairy cooperatives in India, providing livelihood and opportunities to countless rural women. The Indian progress over the last few decades has been shaped significantly by the resilience and contribution of its women. Whether in agriculture, education, governance, technology, entrepreneurship, sports, science, or arts, women have continuously expanded the boundaries of what was once considered possible. There is a greater enrollment of women in professional degrees in the field of engineering, medicine, law, business, and social services. There has also been an increased number of women employees in the workforce, particularly in the IT sector, healthcare, finance, media, and entrepreneurship sectors. While we discuss the achievements, we must honestly confront the persistent challenges that women are facing at present, such as gender gaps in the labor force participation, unequal wages and occupational clustering. For example, according to International Labour Organization, women earn roughly 73% of what men earns. So there was a 27% gap in terms of wages paid to both the men and women. And safety concerns and gender-based violence, digital divide and limited access to assets, underrepresentation in top leadership roles. These are the various problems that women has been experiencing. The young women in the age group of 15 to 29, particularly those with young women in the age group of 15 to 29, particularly those with higher education, face substantial challenges in securing employment. Among the young women, unemployment rate was 21.6% in 2024 compared to 15.8% for men. Graduate level female unemployment stood at 34.5% compared to 26.4% for male graduates. About 43% of the STEM graduates are women, as I mentioned earlier, but only 14% secure the STEM jobs. Young women are more likely to engage in agriculture than young men. In tertiary sector activities such as trade, hotels and restaurants, public administration, health, education, transport, storage and communication, there is a large gender gap in favor of men. India has a large proportion of youth, particularly among women, not in education or employment or training, and this was especially more pronounced among older youths than younger ones. For example, if you observe, the women not in employment, not in education, and not in training amounted to 48.4%, while it was 9.8% among their male counterparts. Despite constituting a significant portion of agriculture workforce, their proportion in the workforce agriculture sector is more, but they own only 14% of the agricultural land. This severely limits their access to the institutional credit, subsidies, technology, and extension services. These are not the gender-related issues, they are national development issues. So, addressing these issues require the coordination efforts between the government, institutions, communities, and families are required to address these issues. While progress is visible, we have seen the progress, the horizon of possibilities is even brighter. So, if India wants to get benefited from the demographic dividend, it is necessary to enhance female labor force participation. Once we enhance the female labor force participation, it can add trillions of rupees to the national income of the country. The proper steps are required to turn the huge female STEM graduates, because 43% of the out of the STEM graduates, women proportion was 43%. If you convert them into the leadership in artificial intelligence, robotics, green tech, health tech, and digital services, so it would help them to achieve some empowerment. By investing in mentorship, research funding, innovation ecosystem, and gender inclusive workplaces, India can create the world's most diverse and dynamic STEM workforce. So women-led micro enterprises and startups are expanding. They are rapidly expanding with access to credit, markets, digital tools, supply chain linkages. Women can redefine the local economies. They can create more employment opportunities by moving from micro to small enterprises and from small enterprises to medium enterprises. The integration of technology in governance opens new possibilities for ensuring dignity and protection. Digital empowerment is not only a tool of convenience, it is a gateway to financial independence, civic participation, and social mobility. So the empowering women through climate technology, green technology, and sustainable livelihoods can transform India's climate resilience strategy, ensuring women's representation at all levels, that is at the national, state, and at the corporate level also, in policy decisions and scientific research is also essential. The economic empowerment among women can be achieved by adopting gender responsive budgeting, expand social security benefits, formalizing the employment, ensuring safety mobility, and promoting flexible work arrangements. By creating women entrepreneurship, India could create more than 30 million women-owned enterprises, potentially creating 150 to 170 million jobs. And we have to encourage the universities and industries for collaboration, encourage universities and industries to collaborate through internships, apprenticeship, and research partnerships. The declaration of 2026 as the International Year of Women Farmer, it is an opportunity for the governments to introduce systematic reforms in the agricultural sector. The women farmers are not just beneficiaries, they are agents of change for ensuring food security, rural prosperity, and climate resilience. To sum up, I thank the organizing committee, advisory committee, and the members of the Center for Women Development at ICFAI Foundation for Education for an excellent organization of this conference. I sincerely appreciate the efforts of Professor S. Vijayalakshmi in successfully organizing this conference. I extend my sincere gratitude to Madam Srimati Shobharani Yashashvi, Chairperson ICFAI Society, Shri V.R. Shankara, President ICFAI Society, for their exceptional dedication to promoting academic excellence. I wish all the paper presenters and other participants to have a fruitful deliberations and a transformative conference ahead. Thank you, Vananda.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for talking about the power of women and the statistics of gender disparity and also the possible opportunities that are open for women, truly embodying the spirit of this conference. Now we move further, and then I'd like to invite our distinguished dignitaries to join us for the launch of Book of Abstracts, a concise reflection of the research presented at this conference. Thank you. Now we request Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Director Branding, IFHE, to join all the dignitaries on the dais to launch his book titled One Step at a Time. So please. Now, we request Mr. Sudhakar Rao, sir, to share a few words about the book.
Mrs. Shailaja Kiron, Madam Shobharani Yashashvi, Dr. Mamta Achanta, my sister, Dr. Nida, Mr. Pattabhiram and his students, directors, deans, faculty of constituent schools of ICFAI here in Hyderabad, the organizers led by Dr. Vijayalakshmi, the collaborators led by University of Hyderabad, all the esteemed professors, good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to this book launch, and my co-author, Dr. Nischita Muppavarapu, I believe she is online. Can we bring her on the screen, please? She is joining from Chennai. She is not able to travel to Hyderabad for this book launch. I'll briefly, while this is being set up, I'll briefly explain. This is the journey of our student, Dr. Nischita. She studied MBA with ICFAI 20 years back, and after that she has switched into MBBS, which is a rare thing. She has become a doctor. That was a big choice, a big decision to make, and from there she studied specializations in US and other countries, and she has become aesthetic dermatologist. And right now she has clients like Rajnikant, Kamal Hassan, Stalin, and the ilk. She has prestigious clients. Of late, she has been appointed as the honorary consular for the Republic of Costa Rica in Chennai. She was also one of the youngest members of the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam board. At the age of probably 32, 33, she was appointed. She is now 40. So this book is about 40 years of life, 35 years of evolution, 20 years of mentorship. I come in there at various crossroads and junctions, at dilemma points. She had consulted me and I kind of responded, which she captured everything in the book. All in 162 pages in 12 chapters. Dr. Debashish Chatterjee, the director of IIM Kozhikode, has written the foreword. I want to thank him for writing the foreword. The book cover is designed by Mr. P. Rajendra Prasad, who is somewhere here. Raise your hand. He is a gold medalist photographer from the Jawaharlal from the JNTU College of Fine Arts. I want to thank Dr. Vijayalakshmi Garu for encouraging me to launch this book in this conference. Women 5.0 is an amazing conference. When I started curating the themes and the topics and the discussion points for this and interacting with Dr. Vijayalakshmi, I felt this is something we need to support and be part of wholeheartedly. So Women 5.0 and a high five to all the men in this room. Why this book is connected to the conference? There is one connection. It is not about, the Women 5.0 is not about chronological evolution of, say, from 1.0 pre-1900s to the 5.0 from post-COVID era. It's not about that. It is a civilizational evolution, and this is marked by several accomplishments, reflections, progress, role modeling, and building the nation, and therefore is extremely important. And somewhere very nicely in this book, there is a journey of an individual, but it is not about accomplishments. It is about learnings. It is about pausing, reflecting, capturing those several moments of truth and calling them success when one has got an opportunity to pause and reflect. Success obviously is not a leap. It is in several small moments, and then you will have to redefine it very appropriately whenever you get time to reflect. And that's what exactly has happened. Now, in summary, what I would like to say is that Women 5.0 and One Step at a Time both together say that the progress is actually not a revolution in noise, but it is an evolution in purpose. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to speak. I'll request Dr. Nishchita, if she is there, to say a few words. Dr. Nishchita, over to you. She could not join us because her father expired very recently. That's why she is joining remotely. She is not there? Okay. Fair enough. I have spoken on behalf of her, and we have only 5 copies. We will give more copies when we get from the publisher. Probably in the days to come, we'll get that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us a brief glimpse about the book. With this, we conclude the launch ceremony. Thank you, dignitaries, for your time and support. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now request Srimati Yan Shobha Rani Yashashwi, Chairperson, ICFAI Group, along with Convener CWD Madam Vijayalakshmi, to felicitate our distinguished guests. We'll first request Dr. Rajalakshmi ma'am to come forward for the felicitation. Now we request Mrs. Shailaja Kiron to come forward for the felicitation. Now we request Dr. Sunita Rani, Dean HCU, to come forward for the felicitation. Now I request Professor Deepa Srinivas to come forward for the felicitation, please. Now we request Srimati N. Shobharani Yashashvi ma'am and our registrar ma'am to felicitate our VC in charge, Professor T. Koti Reddy sir. Please give a big round of applause, everyone. Ma'am, one more. Now I request Shobha Rani ma'am to felicitate our convener CWD, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, to commemorate her relentless effort and to making this event a grand success. So please join her. Thank you, ma'am, for honoring our people and adding a grace to this occasion. Yeah. Now we take this opportunity to acknowledge and honor our valued sponsors whose generous support has played a vital role in the success of this event. We respectfully invite our esteemed sponsors to please come up onto the dais for their special felicitation. So we have Mr. Devashri Patnaik and Mrs. Rajita Bhatt from Dr. Reddy's, and Mr. Debalochan Swar, Deputy General Manager and Regional Head, Mr. Sirish Chandra Mishra, Chief Manager of Canara Bank, and Mr. Sunil Gogia from Asia Law House, Hyderabad, and Prithvi Raj, Senior Vice President, and Mr. Vikram C, Senior Manager of HDFC Bank. Thank you, thank you. Give a huge round of applause for our sponsors, please. Your encouragement and commitment have strengthened our efforts, enabling us to transform this vision into reality. We extend our sincere gratitude for your trust, partnership, and continued support. Thank you. We now invite Dr. Rajalakshmi ma'am, Mrs. Shailaja Kiran ma'am and Registrar ma'am to kindly felicitate Srimati Shobha Rani ma'am, whose vision and leadership have profoundly shaped the growth of ICFAI group. Thank you ma'am for your exemplary guidance and unwavering support. A big round of applause for ma'am, please. We request Shobha Rani ma'am to share a few words with us.
Namaskaram to all of you on the stage, off the stage. What is there left for me to say? There's nothing much. So I'll say one or two words, that's all. Karagre Vasate Lakshmi, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi and her team are working for the Women Development Center for the success. Let God be with us all. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Short but yet powerful, remarks. Now, to formally conclude this session, we now invite Professor Deepa Srinivas to deliver the concluding remarks and offer her scholarly reflections. Please, a big round of applause for ma'am, please.
Good morning. Esteemed delegates, students, and dignitaries on the stage. Pretty much everything has been said, everything that's significant and important for this conference. So I'll also say a few words. We greatly value this collaboration because with this conference titled Women 5.0, Progress, Power, Progress and Possibilities, because we really believe in the possibilities of having a conversation, making connections, as well as having disagreements and difference. All of these are equally important. So I was just looking at the book of abstracts and also listening to the presentations, what the speaker spoke. And it's fascinating that there's a lot of stress on STEM, on technology, and how technology affects our everyday. Not just something out there in the lab, but something that is all around us. And I was thinking this is an important conversation because as we progress, we need to think also of the openings and the possibilities. Because in a techno-driven world, we also get more and more gated in. And I'm thinking of our gated campuses, gated communities, and so on. So coming from a small town, I also feel that we need to open doors where we can. So push doors open. And probably that is something that will emerge through this conference as to how do we open those doors. And it so happened that yesterday, after a long day, I was watching a movie on Netflix. It's called Humans in the Loop. Keeping in the theme of this, the overwhelming theme of this conference in mind, I was thinking, what an interesting movie that is. Its protagonist is an Adivasi woman Nema from Jharkhand, and she works in this small place labeling data for AI. And as she works, it appears like she's working for livelihood and sustenance. But as she works, we realize that Neha is committed to expand the training set for the training data set for the AI, so that it recognizes that which it does not recognize, the data set that is not fed into it, so that it can recognize and value and teach us to value the subjugated knowledges, figures, and people and symbols around us, such as Nema herself, from this Adivasi displaced community of Jharkhand. So I thought probably this collaboration can be in this spirit, such that it enhances our perspectives and experiences, bringing together definitely STEM, science, social science, women's studies, such as what we do, we, Professor Vijayalakshmi and ICFAI, what we do, and most importantly, society and its concerns, questions, not only of those who are privileged, but those who are on the margins, because they have a lot to say and they have a lot of knowledge to share and educate us. So I learned a lot from the speakers. I was looking at the abstracts with a lot of interest, and I look forward to the conference in this spirit. Thank you all. Thank you, Professor Vijayalakshmi. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for this opportunity to collaborate with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for those thought-provoking concluding remarks. We now request the convener CWD IFHE Dr. Vijayalakshmi ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks.
Namaste to one and all. I stand before you with immense pride and heartfelt gratitude to deliver vote of thanks on behalf of the Center for Women Development IFHE at the conclusion of inaugural session of this two-day international conference on Women 5.0, Power, Progress and Possibilities. On behalf of CWD, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Chancellor, Dr. C. Rangarajan, for his continued encouragement, guidance and support. We express our deep sense of gratitude to Srimati Shailaja Kiron, Managing Director, Margadarsi Chit Fund, and Kalanjali for gracing this occasion and delivering an inspiring keynote address. Thank you so much, ma'am. We convey our sincere appreciation to Mrs. Swati Lakra, IPS, for readily accepting our invitation, although she could not attend with us due to an urgent cancellation before just 5 minutes of our inauguration due to some CM's program, I think. But she is very enthusiastic to attend this conference, but we deeply value her support. We are saying thanks to her also. Yeah, thank you. Our heartfelt thanks to Srimati Raja Lakshmi ma'am, Professor IIT Hyderabad, for her insightful and thought-provoking address, which added immense value to this conference that is focusing on product-based than service-based. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are profoundly grateful to Srimati Shobharani Yashashvi for her gracious presence and her unwavering support to the Center for Women Development right from starting forever. Thank you so much, ma'am. I don't know backbone and front bone, but she is a bone to our CWD. We sincerely thank Sri V.R. Shankara Garu, President ICFAI Group, for his constant support and vibrant leadership and guidance throughout this. Our gratitude also extends to Professor T. Kotireddy Garu, in charge Vice Chancellor, for his support and timely direction, and we started troubling him from the last 6 months asking for so many suggestions. Thank you so much, sir. We express our sincere appreciation to Professor Deepa Srinivas and Professor Sunita Rani from the University of Hyderabad for their invaluable collaboration in organizing this event. Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, this conference idea came when ma'am visited our university during a panel discussion almost 1 year back. So we started thinking from that day, but our dreams came true, ma'am. Thank you so much for all your support. Our heartfelt acknowledgement goes to our distinguished advisors, Srimati Shushila Kaushik, Srimati Kalpana, President IAWS, Dr. Maya Joan, former President IAWS, and Mrs. Mani Meklai, former President Center for Women Studies, for their continuous guidance and encouragement. Last visit, when I visited Delhi, I met these people. They started telling me, Vijayalakshmi, start on Women 5.2. Then actually I also don't know what is 5.2. Slowly we have emerged out of discussions. They could not be able to come because of the indigo crisis. That is another crisis which created crisis for us also. So thanks to all of them, and they blessed us and they guided us, and I took a lot of decisions for taking this conference ahead. We gratefully recognize the generous support of our sponsors. I want to say proudly on behalf of Center for Women Development that this is a self-financed or sponsored conference, first time in the ICFAI history. All our activities and all the expenses, everything we met through all the sponsors, but it has given us another boost to our Center for Women Development, sir. We gratefully recognize the generous support of Dr. Reddy Labs. Ma'am is there. Big round of applause to her. ICICI Bank, APR Group, HDFC Bank, Canara Bank, Kotak Bank, Varun Motors, Swiss Castle, Arya Convention, and Asian Law House, Hyderabad. They supported till yesterday night. They started in discussion with us, and everything we could be able to achieve. Of course, our university is there for us anytime, but this time we took as a challenge that it should be a self-financed kind of a conference. But our dreams came true. Thanks once again to all of you, sir. Our sincere thanks, of course, to Narayana sir, Shailaja garu, Venu sir, Sanjay Gloria, to somebody are missing, to all the directors, Sainath garu is there, to deans, faculty members, and for their best wishes and their always support. I think they might have thought last 1 year these people are working. What is output? This is the output. Yes, I think you will support us. A special word of appreciation to Sudhakar Rao garu branding for his unwavering support throughout the conference. Thank you so much, sir. I trouble him also like anything. So this is the result of our torture to you. We want to share that this conference is truly international, as we have received 9 papers internationally from international participants. That is proudly I can say that they are going to give presentation online tomorrow. So this year we are delighted, and one big strange thing happened in this year conference that first I should bless and thank all our students. Why? Because I told about the conference theme. Of course, I blackmailed that if they submit one kind of a paper, see, at the end of the day, university should be benefited, faculty should be benefited, students should be benefited. Their deliberations can be converted into our research papers, so that university at large and students specific, they will be benefited. So big round of applause to all our students who contributed the papers. Nearly 60 students submitted their abstracts. Very interestingly, especially they did lot of work on analysis. So my congratulations and blessings to all of you, to all the students. The women faculty and staff, I am using the word women specially, underline karke, because they are the strength in our campus. We express our sincere thanks to all the CWD coordinators and members. So by default, everybody is a member in CWD, and coordinators for their tireless and dedicated efforts in making this conference a grand success. I didn't ask anybody, voluntarily they came, they contributed right from day 1 till yesterday night 4 o'clock. Thanks to all of you. We gratefully acknowledge the contributions of our women leaders, especially Professor Shashikala. She allowed us, all the others, to make the presentations without giving any invigilation duty. So my thanks to her. Professor Sindhuja, Professor C. Padmavati ma'am, I don't know, they are busy with their work, I think. Professor Sitama ma'am, they are peculiarly, ma'am, I want to say one thing. In our university, starting from ma'am, many women are involved in both teaching and administration. They are involved in research, community development, and this is a reflection of Women 5.0. Proudly I can say that, ma'am. Yeah. Even in boards, academic council members, BOS, women quota is there. It is not a quota, it is a voluntary contribution. They are doing a lot in our university for the development of our IFHE. So thanks to all of them. Administration is the backbone of IFHE. We extend our sincere gratitude to the entire IFHE administration. To the entire IFHE administration team under the leadership of Samad Garu, Indranil, Mr. Indranil Garu, Sri Ramanmurthy, Sri Rangarao Garu, Murthy Garu, by standing us ensuring the smooth conduct of this event. So special thanks to Ramchandran and his team. Big round of applause. Because he worked till yesterday night 4 o'clock, they are busy with decorating. Without them, see, it is not our hard work only. Right from Srinivas, who has served as tea around 10 o'clock, ma'am, they are, please leave the office. We want to go home. From them to Ramchandran. So we are grateful to all of them. A very special acknowledgement is due to Mr. V. Madhusudan Rao, Joint Registrar SSD, whose vision and leadership from naming the conference name I have not designed. Proudly, openly I am sharing with you. It is coined by Mr. Madhusudan Rao, Joint Registrar SSD, Women 5.0 coordinating. He is instrumental in bringing sponsorships. Sir, I am only telling you the vote of thanks, but he is instrumental in bringing sponsorships. Entire logistics, that balloon idea is also of Madhusudan sir only. It is not my idea. Played a pivotal role in making this event a great, memorable event. We express our deep sense of gratitude to press and media, both print media and electronic media, for their extensive and meaningful coverage. Finally, I cannot close this session without saying thanks to all the others and all the participants who came all the way pan-India from almost Delhi to Kerala. My sincere respects to all of you. Thank you so much for seeing you in the conference today. Big round of applause to them. Finally, our blessings and heartfelt appreciation to all the children and volunteers from Club Aina, Nazaria, Samavesh, Prayas, Speak Up, Infinity Studios, Drishyam, and the MES committee, whose enthusiasm, creativity and involvement added immense value to this event. So big thank you one and all. Wish you good time for the next 2 days. If anybody I have missed it, please think that they are always appreciated. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your thoughtful words of gratitude. And now a few announcements regarding the photographs. We request all the dignitaries to come forward for a group photograph, please. Morning, sir. Thank you. We now request the dignitaries to join the audience for a group photograph with all of them. Please. Yes. Ma'am, please go ahead and stand there, ma'am. We request all the audience to stand for the group photograph, please. All the dignitaries, if you